Doc Loves the Kids, a local Kitsap County nonprofit organization established in 2015, whose mission is to provide activities, programs, and community support for at-risk youth.
They put the U in community.
Doc Loves the Kids.
Welcome to Uncommon Courtesy.
We give you the courtesy of conversation
that's uncommonly spoke of.
I'm D-Mac.
I'm Wesley.
And this is the show. Man, so don't forget to like, listen, subscribe. Thanks to everybody who views our show. Don't forget to share it. Yeah, here we go, man. So Elon Musk and Trump had an interview on X yesterday.
Yeah, they said that it did they're trying to say it did over 1 billion. Was it
well,
impressions
it was like 1.2
or
million people watched it. Then they said it was close to 1 billion people because he's counting the people talking about it and then people viewing it or whatnot. Because, it's like somebody will post something, like let's say Marjorie Taylor Greene will post something, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not people that like her commenting in it. It's people that don't like her commenting in it. Mm-hmm. And so their comments, they comment more than everybody else. Yeah. And then he claimed a DDoS attack. It's basically like if there's a DDoS attack, it's basically like it would have attacked the whole, it's a cyber attack. It would have shut down whole Twitter. So like when something happens, like, Instagram's down, Facebook is down. That's what that is. It's a DDoS attack. But what it is, when he got in there, he fired all the people. So it doesn't run properly. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to change my profile picture for the last 4 months.
Really?
Yeah, it won't let me. It keeps saying it's the same one of me in this bar.
It says, Donald Trump's live chat with Elon Musk on X plagued with glitches Musk claims were from cyber attack. Donald Trump ran through his checklist of conspiracy theories in a rambling conversation with uber wealthy super supporter Elon Musk Monday night that was initially derailed by technical problems. Trump's return to X, formerly known as Twitter, lasted more than 2 hours, was overwhelmingly friendly, and shed little light on Trump's plan for a possible second term around in the Oval Office. What was billed as a no-limits conversation between the two billionaires started more than half an hour late, with many of those logging on unable to listen in live. Musk, the world's richest man, according to Forbes, claimed without evidence that X had experienced a cyber attack. In a very one-sided conversation on X, Trump vented about zombie apocalypse of immigration, repeatedly blasted President Biden as stupid, and mused on developing a new missile defense system based on the one that defends Israel. So, I mean...
He's like, we're going to get an Iron Dome for America. I'm like, bro, you must not know what we already have.
I mean, dudes, like I say, he did come up with the Space Force. I'm going to kind of give him credit for the Space Force right there. I do think that that's probably something to foresight, that he had a little bit of foresight with that right there. And if we don't already have a better missile defense system than Israel, that's a problem.
Well, we need Space Force because the aliens is coming more.
You know what I mean? It's possible.
Everybody thought he was crazy. Then they're like, oh, yeah, we have aliens too. And they're like, yeah, what's that got to do with the rent?
Absolutely. And if you look at it too, he was talking about like how Kamala's beautiful. The picture of her on Time magazine kind of reminds me of Melania. And did you see the picture? I think I can call her beautiful. This is what he's saying. But he consistently calls Kamala stupid. You know what I'm saying? She's not smart. She's not very smart. This and that. I mean, like, I don't see how he even can come up with something like that. How can you even have a standpoint about a college graduate who at the same time was a lawyer, then became a defense, became an attorney, became district attorney. I mean, just rose through the ranks, and now she's already the Democratic nominee for president of the United States. I don't see how that's
vice
even
president. Like, we can't even let that slide. Like, she's already vice president of the United States,
senator. Everything. Yeah. I mean, so it just was kind of crazy. I mean, the interview was really, really one-sided. Musk and it just was giving him a bunch of softball, questions. They're both just kind of like, just
he still made it look bad. Like, I mean, they even messed up. Like, I'm gonna add this part to it. Like, the UAW files federal labor charges against Donald Trump and Elon Musk after threatening workers on X interview. And Donald Trump, he said, what he said to him? He said, look at what you do. You walk in, and you say, oh, you want to quit? Oh, they go on strike? I won't mention the name of the company, but they go on strike and you say, that's okay, you're all gone. You're all gone. Every one of you are gone, Trump said. And Musk was heard laughing, replying, yeah.
I mean, the whole interview was kind of just like a love affair between the two.
It was. And hold on. It was a lot of dick stroking in there. But it says they're suing. It says the charges claim the former president and the Tesla CEO had interfered with and restrained or coerced employees who were exercising their right to organize against the company, suggesting he would fire employees engaged in protected concurred activity, including striking. Excuse me, I must have got that
good.
word right. But it's like he threatened them. I mean, there was a lot of stuff to unravel in there. My favorite part was he's like, yeah, man, if I don't win, might have to have dinner in Venezuela.
This is the same country that, you just had Musk talking about Maduro, telling him, hey, I'm going to come into Venezuela and take you to Gitmo on the back of a donkey.
Yeah.
As he just told him. I mean, so this is, like I said, man, you could tell like a lot of it was like, you even had Musk say some stuff like, oh, well, I'm not really against fossil fuels. I'm not like just against it. I think that, if anything happens, like everybody knows that you can't just take away fossil fuels right now. Nobody's stating that. But we all understand, what fossil fuels are doing to the
environment and the
absolutely.
ozone layer. But
everyone knows that
his rockets from X or whatever, they're doing more damage to the ozone layer than anything else. Every time he goes up there, it damages it.
I mean, but it's like it's one of those things that you kind of either you're going to go or or we're not going to go up there, and we're not going to try to figure out what's out there.
Yeah. And
so
I guess he asked Kamala to be on there too. She said, "Please."
Would you want? I mean, he is concurring with everything this person. You know how that side's going to go.
Yeah.
This is going to be. It's not going to be anything like that. It's going to be straight up blah 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 blah. Just like bullet question after bullet question after bullet question. Like the worst interview you could possibly have, the most contentious interview you'll ever be able to get. You're going to get from Trump. This is a supporter. He's already labeled himself a supporter. Said he's going to give $45 million every month and put it into a super PAC that's going to support Donald Trump.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So why would I?
Almost 1 billion listeners. People tuned in and was like, fuck this bullshit.
I mean, I'm like this. How? Because you don't even, a lot of those people don't even, there's only like 400 and something million people or 500 million people or something like that on X, I think. There's not like over 1 billion people on X, I don't believe. There might be, but.
There's a lot of users on X, but the whole thing he's saying, he's counting people talking about it and retweeting stuff.
But how is that? But if you may have.
He didn't count the people. He's counting the people and the posts.
So that doesn't really count though. That's not viewers.
That's what they're counting because I read it yesterday. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
There's only like 78 million or something like that.
Because there's not 1 billion people. I mean, so it was like this.
There's only like 78 million people who actually listen. Who actually listen to that?
On X, right?
Yeah.
1.2 million people tuned in and listened to him, and the other 499 million was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So you put that in perspective.
I feel like that it would have been it's a big interview. That's a huge interview. Those two together, that's a big interview. So I think it's going to do numbers. This is not me denying the numbers. The numbers are going to be the numbers. That's Trump, and that's he's a draw. No matter where he's at, he's going to be a draw. He's going to say some crazy shit. So it's going to be a draw. Then you got Elon Musk. Haven't heard him interview anybody. You could tell why he doesn't interview anybody because he was just sitting there with softball question after softball question. He really asked him nothing. He really got no answers from him. He's like, oh, I really think that you need to be president. Like, who the fuck are you to even say who doesn't? They were talking about basically like, all these companies getting this government assistance. You got government assistance.
Hella government assistance.
You know what I mean? I remember when Trump
posted a picture of you saying, if I would have told you to get down on your knees
and beg, everything you have right now is because of the American people giving your company money. You guys would have failed. Your whole company would have failed if it wasn't for us. You were afraid to talk up. You could tell Trump was kind of like walking on eggshells by talking about China because he knows that Elon Musk makes a lot of money in China, so Elon Musk can't say shit about China. You'll talk about any other country, but you don't ever hear him say nothing about China. And was that Xi Jinping or something like that? He doesn't say anything about him. That's a Chinese leader. Doesn't say a word about him, and neither does. I mean, Trump will say a couple things here and there because he's going to say whatever he wants. But
I look at Elon Musk like I look at Pierce Morgan. Like I don't care what you got to say. You ain't even
period,
from here,
man. He's not even
leave.
Period. I mean, and so to me, I just like this interview. It was really just a buttering up interview for him. You know what I mean? They're both talking about how dumb this people were and how bad this was and how this was. But man, you just gave him billions of dollars to save his company. He's talking about how we're bailing out this, that, and the third. I mean, to me, it was a good interview to listen to, but it really brought nothing new to the table. And I don't think that anyone. Why would Kamala? If I'm Kamala Harris, I'm not going on that shit.
If I'm Kamala Harris, I'm going to let him sit back and keep ruining himself.
Period.
He's letting his whole campaign. I mean, you're even letting the people that are voting for you say racist things to your vice president's wife. You're letting them say racist things about Kamala Harris. You're letting them say whatever they want.
Because he's saying racist shit. He's like, when did she become black? Like, to be like he doesn't understand multiracial people. Him and his wife, I bet they're multiracial. Just because she's Russian, I guarantee that, and he's from somewhere else too. That's two different races of people. You guys are not both just white.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying?
America they are.
You know what I mean though. Overall, but
I never seen Kamala naked. I seen the first lady naked though.
Naked.
Malana.
Yeah, I've seen her naked too.
Holding that thing. Yeah. Well, I got one here. New complaint. Texas woman says delayed care due to abortion laws endangered her fertility. Let's see. 2 women have filed federal complaints against Texas hospitals saying they refuse to treat their ectopic pregnancies, leading both women to lose their fallopian tubes and endanger their future fertilities. Texas law allows doctors to terminate ectopic, hope I'm saying that, pregnancies in a condition in which the fertilized egg implants in the fallopian tubes instead of the uterus. Ectopic pregnancies are also always non-viable and can quickly become life-threatening if left untreated. Despite these protections, these women say they were turned away from 2 separate hospitals that refused to treat them. The complaint alleges that the doctors and hospitals are so fearful of the state's abortion law, which carries penalties up to life in prison when violated, that they were hesitant to perform even protected abortions. The complaints were filed with the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services under the Emergency Medical Treatment and Labor Act. So, this is what we're voting for right now. You have to understand, like, these women couldn't have these babies. The baby was going to die anyways, and they could have died too. And the hospitals were like, "No, we don't want to touch it because we might go to jail." This is wild times. I remember someone sent me a picture of this lady that she was in jail for like something and an abortion.
And an abortion.
But it was fake, right? Because like you can just look it up, and people were saying it was fake, but I'm like, still, that's gonna happen. They've already locked up women for having.
They got the one lady who she didn't even have an abortion; she just had a miscarriage.
She had a miscarriage, and she freaked out. She tried to flush it down the toilet.
She may not even have known that it was the baby in there, all the blood and everything. You just might be trying to flush the blood from out of the toilet, and there might have been something you didn't have to know that. But people are like, yeah, this is weird to me.
They got women that went to jail because they told somebody on Facebook that they were gonna have an abortion. And they're heading to have the abortion. I believe this was also in Texas. That's and the crazy. People called the authorities on them.
People are weirdos, man. People want to be in your business. I'm sitting here and I'm listening to JD Vance.
Handmaid's Tale right now.
Yeah. I'm listening to JD Vance having like a conversation with someone. He's like, the person gives him a story about a lady who is from Texas, again, to say to Texas, and she wants to, she has a baby, but the baby has some kind of a disease that's where they don't, it's not gonna live, but they don't even know if it'll kill her when she tries to have it, and at the same time, it'll make it so it's really less likely she could ever have kids. And she's like, me and my husband want to have kids, but we probably need to get rid of this pregnancy. He was like, oh, well, I'm not really against that. We want to make it a choice for every state to be able to choose. I said, if you want to make this a choice, why don't you just leave it alone? Then that becomes a choice. Then you can either choose not to have one or choose to have one.
Well, I mean, the real fact about it is they want to rape their way back into existence. I'm just going to say it there. That's the only reason you're doing that. You know what I'm saying? European men, American men aren't getting charged that much for sexual assault. They're actually acting like they can't prove it anymore. You know, you have these states. Remember there was the girl in Ohio, she was like 12 years old. She was sexually assaulted by her uncle, and they were going to force her to have this baby. The family had to like take her to the neighboring state so she could have an abortion. And they're like, oh, all life is precious. And you're talking, there's men that can't have babies, and there's old ladies that already went through menopause that can't have babies that are telling people what they should be doing with their bodies.
I heard a woman today on my Facebook page. She was speaking about the fact that basically when a woman wants to go and or for a man to go have a vasectomy, he can just go have it. He don't have to talk to a doctor. He doesn't have to do anything. But for a woman that get her tubes tied,
just be a certain age.
I don't know about the age part.
They say you can't be under like 25 or 26 because they say you might change your mind when you get older. So they won't give it to them when the women are young. They've heard it all the time. And she stated that the fact that you have to talk to a doctor, you have to get approved, you have to it takes a lot. You have to do a lot of stuff to kind of like even make this happen. So it's like you make things really restrictive for women to get done, but for men it's like we can just walk in and get it done. It's nothing. That day.
It's, you know what I mean?
That day.
You know, and so this is a very, very much a two-sided system that's not working out for everybody, and I think this is going to be a tale of that right there within this election. I think this election is going to really spark something within women. When I'm looking at even Kamala Harris's rallies, I see a lot of men, but I see a lot of women, man.
There should be a lot. Think about it. They're passing laws that like not even in cases of rape or incest.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, and it just and they're like, let each state deal with it on their own. I bet you if Texas put this under, I bet you if Texas put this on the on like for a vote, and I bet you they wouldn't do it for this election. They can't do it; it's probably too late. But if they were put it up for a vote, I guarantee it'll get voted down. You know what it's been voted down it hasn't been upheld anywhere.
Anywhere they've had a vote.
Period.
You know what they should do? Like when they pass these laws, everyone from states that have women, the women still have the rights to like abortions and birth control and stuff. They should pay money to have all the women leave that state and go to different states because ain't nobody want to be in Kentucky with a bunch of dicks.
I mean, I guarantee there'll be some women that stay there. There'll be some women that stay because there's women who are against abortion too. This is not just saying all women are against abortion. However, but we see that when you have wave elections happening, that people are against abortion. I mean, not against abortion. I'm sorry. The people are like not pro-abortion, but just pro-choice. Period. It's not like people want to say go and have an abortion. People aren't pushing that, but people are pushing a choice. I mean, like the Republicans have always said that they were the party of like rights and for less government oversight, less government in your life. But you're pushing your way of life on other people, and you're the minority. Period. You're the minority, overwhelmingly the minority. Period. You know what I mean? And so that's been proven for every election cycle. You guys are the minority. No one wants to listen to the people who don't really. You guys don't even have any real sway within the voting block of what's happening in this country.
All they want to do is take things away.
Yeah, from everything.
I just want to know, what is something you're doing to help the people right now?
Nothing.
You want to take Social Security away. You want to take Medicare away.
Yep.
You want to take women's rights away. You want to make it so
you want to take voting rights away.
In school.
You know what I'm saying? You want to take people's voting rights away. There's so many different things that you want to take away. What do you want to kick immigrants out the country, even though your own party knows you need them? And most of you live in rural areas where you need them more than anyone else. I mean, I'm not trying to say all of us don't need immigrants, but you guys are using a lot of migrant workers, a lot.
Well, what's the plan after? Look, they're going to get rid of the migrants, and they'll be like, well, we got all these non-working African-Americans here, time to put them back in the field. I mean, I don't know why people think, oh, yeah, they're going to get rid of the immigrants. What do you think they're going to do after that?
I mean, honestly, he's going to have a hard time doing that, but I believe he will try. Yeah. I believe he'll try because he has nothing else. He has to try.
I'm not going to get stopped and be like, hey, are you an American? I'm like, nah, I live in Washington. The difference.
Hey, let me.
We care about our own up here.
Squad member Cori Bush loses Democratic primary in Missouri. Missouri Rep. Cori Bush has lost her Democratic primary to St. Louis County Prosecutor Wesley Bell, securing another win for the same pro-Israel groups that helped oust New York Rep. Jamal Bowman weeks ago. Bush, a member of the House squad of progressive lawmakers like Bowman, was already earmarked for a tough primary in Missouri's 1st congressional district, which ended up being the second most expensive primary of the cycle, behind only Bowman's race in New York. Her fierce advocacy for a ceasefire in Gaza added fuel to opponents' fire. And in a similar fashion to Bowman, Bush, despite the backing of progressive groups, local leaders, and top congressional Democrats, was unable to fend off Bell, who, like Bush, rose to prominence during the protests in Ferguson, Missouri, a decade ago, following the police killing of unarmed black teenager Michael Brown. Now, this guy Bell, Wesley Bell, right here, he is known as far as like in the St. Louis area for being the person who would not put the guy who killed the cop who killed Mike Brown up for, put him on trial. He wouldn't arrest him. This is what he's kind of known for. He's a black gentleman as well. This is the reason why I bring this up, because this did happen a couple weeks ago. But reason why I bring this up right now is because happened about a week ago, I should say. It's because this is the second most expensive primary race in history. Bowman's, who ran in New York, they spent $25 million. This is just from one PAC, pretty much $25 million to beat. To oust him because he had I won't say even anti-Israel, it was anti-Gaza attack. He was an anti-Gaza attack advocate, the same as Bush was right here. And so this is why they're being attacked right here. They're both.
The whole thing. AIPAC is they're an Israel pact. So basically, we're letting a foreign government influence our elections.
We're giving them money to influence our elections. Let's not forget that. I mean, we give them $3.5 billion. I mean, that's just on a regular year to get $3.5 billion. I think they probably gotten like 40 billion this year because they chose to keep attacking, innocent civilians in Gaza. But we give them $3.5 billion a year. They pretty much just take 800 million or whatever they're going to take, 500 million.
They're doing worse than attacking them
and put it back. Yeah,
they're doing worse than that.
Yeah, they're killing them. It's a genocide.
They're doing worse than killing. They're sexually assaulting these prisoners. The men are raping the men, women, and children. Yeah. We've seen the video.
We've seen the video, man.
We've seen the dudes get on TV and say, hey, I should be able to do it.
Yep, we should be able to rape them.
The government gets on TV. We should be able to do it.
Yep. I mean, we saw someone sent me a video of the dude, like they picked the prisoner up and took him behind. They had like a bunch of umbrellas or whatever, and they had the guards in there raping the dude in the jail. It was crazy. They were raping these people, man. Like I don't even understand how that's even a thought of like, how do you even look at that as Okay,
and say you look at that like, oh, they're defending themselves. That ain't no defense when you're holding a man down while you're taking his manhood.
They had to take 10 guards. They put them on. They arrested 10 guards at a facility over there. Like, we already talked about this already. Arrested 10 guards for sexual assault and for beating and raping people all through there. And so it's just crazy, man. But these are the same. Like, the reason why I say this is because we have to start our own. We got to, like, as just American people in general, but black people for real, we got to start our own political action committee and combat this type of shit, because this is what's going on. This is why we're losing, and this is why we can't get things done, because we don't have the kind of power these people have. We have the access to the capital. There's enough of us. We can put together the capital and make it happen, but we're just not doing it.
Well, I mean, you got to do something, man, because we came too far attacking them, and just to stop now, or fighting what they're doing to us to stop now. Because once we do, everybody that said something bad is going to be a target.
Yep, absolutely.
I got this one here. America's biggest grocery chain investigated over Uber-style surge pricing. Kroger, America's biggest supermarket chain, is being investigated over its use of electronic price labels on store shelves nationwide. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren and Bob Casey announced they were looking into the practice to see if the chain was engaging in surge pricing. So-called dynamic pricing is common in other industries such as flights, hotels, and car-sharing services like Uber. It seems customers paying more or less depending on demand, but it can be controversial, especially around essential items like groceries, and raises concerns that companies may start forcing customers to pay more at a busy time. Kroger is not the only name to use it. Walmart, the biggest retailer over in the U.S., announced in June it was planning to introduce digital shelf labels in thousands of stores, and it's not clear if they will also be probed. Wendy's is also doing that too.
Yeah, I saw
They want
that.
to hit you with peak hours. This is madness.
Yeah, it is.
This is why I go to the grocery store and I hear the alarm go beep, 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 and I'm just like,
What you mean?
like somebody's stealing. I heard somebody stealing the other day. They were rushing out the store.
I'm just like, man, if they're getting hit for these, I don't understand. Like, we need to have, we've been talking about this already, but we need to put some type of regulation in place for, like price gouging, not just price gouging, but just like we need to have ceilings for what people can charge when it comes to food. It just needs to happen, man, because in reality, we're getting beat. Everyone, not just the people, we're not just getting beat once, we're getting beat twice, because we help people by helping to get SNAP benefits, which are like welfare. We help with that. So they already have a certain amount of money that they're earmarked every single month. They're going to go, and that's going to go into welfare. So then that means that you're also beating us twice, because now they're beating those people too by raising their prices for more, higher and higher. So we need to, if we have that kind of, if we're already subsidizing the food industry by having that program. We're saying, okay, X amount of billions every single month you're going to make no matter what. Because it's already right here, earmarked. This is not including.
These companies are subsidized by the government because they don't pay their employees enough. And so they also get cash from the government for doing that.
So look how many times, this is a savings that we could have as a people right here. We don't really understand. Like, this is not, it makes perfect sense. I think we just can't, that should be pushed right there. That makes perfect sense right there. Like you just said, farmers are also being subsidized to not grow certain crops, to not grow more food, so that which would also bring down the price of them. We're beating ourselves, reality wise. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just look at that right there. We're beating ourselves by not saying something about it, by not doing something about it.
And the days are over of just being able to go to one grocery store, buy your groceries, and take off. Shop around, folks. They send the coupons to you in the mail. You know what I'm saying? If you go to a grocery store and they got these digital prices on here, leave. Stop shopping there. Don't shop there for a week. They always tell you don't get gas for a day. No, you got to get it the next day. Stop going to certain places for a week, 2 weeks. You remember what they did for us during COVID, right? No one could leave, no one could work. They was hella nice to us. And all we had to do was do a general strike, and they would have kept the prices the same. Stand up for yourselves. I shouldn't have to pay $7 for 4 sticks of butter.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My love handles are crying every night.
It's $7 for it. You know what I mean?
$7 for some butter.
And it's not going to go down. Like, we really need to start, like, as much as we don't like people don't, I don't like the Democratic Party. I'm this party, that party. They're one of the only parties who are talking price controls. Like, and I don't hear the Republicans talking. They just tell you the prices were better under me. Does that mean that they're going to make the grocery stores lower the prices? But no, they don't care, because that's not going to help their stock portfolio.
No, if they're going to do it, they would have done it right now. They'd be like, look, hey, just so I know that you're going to vote for me here, I'm going to have this company do this and lower this price, just so you can see. Then the price will go down and be like, see, I did that. Now, if you elect me,
and they run the House. They run the House, so they could do it. I guarantee they already got people in the Senate, which was Elizabeth Warren speaking about it. It could have easily been put together. Now I feel like there are certain parties that will get this done. Well,
the Republicans are like a lot of them, not all of them, because some of them do cross the aisle, which you're supposed to do. That's how America's supposed to function. Some of them just make it dysfunctional. They're like, oh, we don't want to pass no laws, nothing. We don't give Democrats.
I mean,
no
that's
You're not giving. You don't want to give the American people a win.
That's MTG right there. That's her for sure.
She's a DEI anyways. They spoke her the other day. She's mad because they won't let her talk at certain things now. When's the last time you seen anything about her?
I haven't seen anything for a while, man.
They're like, oh, now you.
We don't need you talking right now. Just be quiet. You're divisive.
What we wanted from you. You're done.
She's super divisive, man. They say a January 6th rioter was just sentenced to 20 years. If Trump wins, he could go free. Judge Royce Lamberth of D.C. Federal District Court sentenced David Dempsey, a violent January 6th siege participant, to 20 years in prison on Friday.
Ooh.
That is the second longest January 6th prison term imposed to date, just behind the 22-year sentence handed to Enrique Torrio, head of the extremist Proud Boys, who spearheaded the Capitol siege. Judge Lamberth was appointed to the bench decades ago by President Ronald Reagan. Dempsey, 20-year term reminds those who committed to the rule of three important things. First, the intensity and scope of the Justice Department's commitment to prosecuting those who invade the Capitol, who has been breathtaking. Amidst the focus of the delays bringing former President Donald Trump to justice, is easily overlooked that 1,400 people who participated in the Capitol riot have been charged. More than 900 have been convicted, most by guilty plea. I'm not going to read the other two because it's a bunch of stuff, but basically, 1,400 people is a decent amount, but I think there's like about 50,000 people who were there. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how many of them went.
A lot of people there.
I'm not sure how many of them went to the Capitol, but it was more than 1,400 people. I'll tell you that much.
I remember the first person that ever got convicted out of all that stuff was a black dude.
I remember that. We talked about it. We talked about that. I mean, 20. This dude was the one who was beating the dude with the pole, though. That's why he got the 20 piece, because he was one. Remember them was beating the cop with the pole. I mean, then they had to drag the cop up. They dropped him on. They basically brought him up like, here, pick your homie up, and dropped him on the front stairs. You know what I'm saying? Basically, after he got done beating the cop down. I mean, it's
attempted murder.
I mean, really, man. I think a cop died. I think somebody died there. There's all kinds of. Yeah. I mean, if any other thing, if you go somewhere and do a crime, or not even, you don't even have to be, you just have to be with the person. You know what I'm saying? Not even with in the general group. It doesn't matter. They're going to charge you with that crime.
Yeah,
period.
Guilty by association.
Period. And so everybody there should have got charged. People were like, well, some people were just walking around. So what? They should have got cooked.
Yeah, if I'm at the store and he's stealing Viagra and I get caught with him, we both get charged.
You're getting time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Period. You know, that's just the way it go. You know what I mean? So I don't understand how everybody there, he wanted to slip that bullshit in there. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but everybody, the point of it is, though.
I apologize. I don't know your medical conditions.
The point of it is, though, honestly, that everybody's getting hit, man. You know what I mean? Like, when it comes to us, it doesn't matter. My bad.
Yeah,
I mean, when it comes to us, I'll say there's a car full of people and someone does some dumb shit. One of your partners do some dumb shit. Everybody in the car is getting cooked. That's just how it goes. You don't even have to be, you can just have come to the party and there was a party and something was going on, but you're associated with that group. You're getting cooked. Everybody who went to the Capitol should be cooked because they all knew they shouldn't have been there.
Like if your kids go after school to a fight, one kid pulls out a knife and stabs the other kid, everybody gets the charge.
Look, when they start breaking windows, correct. When they start breaking windows, man, you knew you wasn't supposed to be in there no more. When they start overrunning the police and beating motherfuckers and putting up fucking Trump signs and hangman nooses, you knew you weren't supposed to be there anymore. You saw people pissing on the walls
and jumped through trying to kill Mike Pence. You
knew you wasn't supposed to be there. When y'all chased the cop and he running from his
when they were like pop pop. The rest of them were like, oh
shit's real right now. You know what I mean? Y'all all knew you weren't supposed to. They give y'all so many excuses, man. I've never heard so many damn excuses in my life, man. It's crazy.
Remember, it was Antifa.
It was Antifa. It was Black Lives Matter. I'm like, I didn't even see no black people.
There was the one. There was one dude. You didn't see him. He was standing there in wherever they were having
was he the one with the camera?
He was standing there and he's looking around. He was the first one charged.
They cooked his ass. They was like, oh, they knew they seen his ass.
Within 2 weeks, they was like, oh, you're cooked. This guy got to chill for 3 years.
And then they all want to blame the one black cop who ended up doing what he was supposed to do. All of them was supposed to do was knock somebody down.
He was guarding Mike Pence. That's what scared him, though, because that's what they were doing. Like, I was talking to my cousin about that. He's like, oh, you think that was bad that they did that to the one? I'm like, bro, when you get a mob of people together, you get mob rule. They busted through the window. He's saying, stop. She jumped. I was like, what do you think she's going to do? Jump through the window and scream in his face?
Yeah, like, no, they was all coming through after that.
They were going to hang Mike Pence because he was going to certify the election.
They had to run our vice president down to the bottom tunnel and get him out the building. That's a damn shame, man.
When the lady got shot.
Yeah,
I'm already was back there. He was like, pow, the black dude shot him. And then Trump was like, we got to give his name up.
They had all of our legislators cowering, scared, all of them. I remember.
Bro, they hung the gallows up there.
Because he said that Mike Pence needs to be. So this is all Trump's doing. They all knew this shit. The point of it is, man, it was some bullshit, man. But honestly, the 20 piece is going to teach some people right there. To give a motherfucker a 20 piece real quick right there is going to show some people that, you know, they're not playing about this shit.
They all got to be home for 3 years thinking about it. You know what I'm saying?
What you mean? Just sitting there just now?
Think about it. He's been free for 3 years. That's like when a cop shoots a black dude. Yeah, we'll have his trial to 7 years when the shit calms down. You know, he got to get his affairs in order and stuff.
But yeah, I'm happy that he got a 20 piece. And I don't even like people having to do jail time. That's not even my thing. But you know what, man? Something should have fucking happened. Because I remember I put on my page one time. I was talking about the lady. I think her name was like Babbitt or something like that.
That's the one that got shot.
Yeah, I was like, man, I said something like, good. She should have got shot. They should have shot the rest of them too. Because that's you invade. You come at the Capitol. That's like, you know, you're now a terrorist. Period. Yeah, that's anybody else. You're getting shot down. That's just how it's going. You know what I mean? But I got sexual violence is rampant in Sudan's civil war. Rights group says. An international rights group on Monday accused a paramilitary group in war-torn Sudan of sexual violence against women, including rape, gang rape, and forced and child marriage. A smaller number of incidents were also attributed to the military, it said. Human Rights Watch called for the United Nations and the African Union to establish a joint mission to protect civilians in Sudan, as more than 15 months of fighting between the military and the paramilitary rapid support forces has shown no signs of abating. The rapid support forces have gang raped, and forced into marriage countless women and girls in the residential areas in Sudan's capital, said Latia Badar, Deputy Africa Director of Human Rights Watch. The group also accused both warring parties of blocking survivors access to critical emergency care, and said the military has willfully restricted shipments of humanitarian supplies to RSF control areas, including medical supplies, aid workers, since October of last year. Damn. I mean, this is the reason. I mean, we really want to talk about this because, you know, people have been hearing about Sudan recently because their basketball team, South Sudan basketball team, did really well in the Olympics. As far as like, I think they came close to beating the Americans. Not to change the subject, but people have heard about the area. But Sudan has been at war for, I think, a little over a year, almost a year and a half or so right now, and they're breaking apart into two countries. There was
South Sudan and Sudan.
Yeah, at one point in time it was all one country, but then like I think the head of the military kind of split apart from the from the prime minister of the country or the president of the country, kind of just kind of start his own thing because he had all the military. So he was like, oh, I'm going to start my own country, do my own thing, because he felt like they were trying to basically kick him out of the power structure of everything. And so now it's just been pretty much just like a genocide going on within the country. They've killed, like, I know they've displaced like over like 8 million people, killed a lot of people. We just haven't really been talking about this conflict too much because it's in Africa and people don't really care about what goes on in Africa, but it's a lot of starvation going on. This is like 100 times worse than what's going on over in Gaza. And we've spoken about Gaza on a number of different occasions. So it's something that needs to be talked about. But to even just look at the courage of those people who came in, those players who came in from South Sudan to play in the Olympics was really big, knowing that this is going on within your country right now. It's just
it's good to create awareness like that. You know what I'm saying? And we do have to keep up with stuff that's going on in Africa, because it's not just the Middle East where it's war torn. It's not just Russia and the Ukraine where there's war going on, or in America where there's one that's going to pop off after the election regardless. You know what I'm saying? We have to focus on other countries and let them know that we're here with them, and we're here to report on the atrocities and everything else that's going on, and that you're not alone in this country.
Yeah,
or in your country.
No, absolutely. I mean, this is all kind of one big segment right here. So officials at UN Security Council push for a permanent seat for Africa. The United Nations chief has called for the UN Security Council to reform its outdated structure and assign Africa a permanent seat at the table, stressing that the continent is underrepresented. Addressing the council on Monday during a high-level debate, Secretary General Antonio Guterres said the composition of the UNSC has failed to keep pace with the changing world. Basically, what he's coming with is like Africa is pretty much the fastest growing continent in the world right now. They have the youngest population, Africa overall as a continent. The average age of African people are like 19. The closest continent to that is like I want to say it's Asia. I think there's like 31 or something like that. I mean, it's just something, the closest one, but they just has the most rapidly growing population, but they don't have a permanent seat on the Security Council. But most of the things that you're dealing with when you're dealing with the Security Council are dealing with Africa. It's like when they have all those different when they're putting people on trial. They're mostly putting African leaders on trial.
Yeah.
You know, and this is who they're attacking. So they do need some kind of a seat on the council. They have most of the resources in the world are in Africa. You know, they also supply troops to the UN, but they don't have a seat on the council. They don't have any say so in what goes on. And so that's what I mean. It's just another, like I say, it's another aspect of what we were talking about. We really got to start paying attention to what's going on in Africa, because we talked about it already on the segment before that, you know, you're watching, there's a big incursion from China, a big incursion from Russia, and they're going into Africa, and they're basically like setting their flags in Africa. A lot of countries are starting to do. They had some protests, I think it was in Nigeria, where the Africans were waving the Russian flag because they're starting to get support from Russia. You know what I mean? And we're not supporting them in any substantive way. We're not helping them out, but so they're going to take it from where they can. People who are not putting them in a situation to where they owe so much money. If you give them a loan, now they have to pay back 20% on the loan or something ridiculous. You know, even though at the same time it's a loan, you should be looking to help them out, because you understand what could happen if you let these countries go into a war torn kind of a state. You start getting displaced people, you start getting hunger strikes, you start getting you start getting people who are starving, and you start getting a lot of rape and things like this going on. This is what's happening over there.
It's gonna happen here in America too if we don't get our stuff right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but we're gonna let y'all know. We're gonna keep you updated. Uncommon courtesy. Till next time.